Welcome to episode number 73 of the BEBC
BS.
Wow, podcast.
We've got a special guest today.
Oh,
Angry Hank.
Angry Hank. Is he angry? Let's see. Let's just zoom in on him here.
You can do that now?
I can zoom.
Mark's got skills.
So my computer's being goofy. But anyhow.
Wonky.
This whole weekend's goofy now.
It's going to be a long, goofy weekend.
Well,
It's
is that
a
it?
holiday weekend. It is.
It is.
That's
I'm
the
going to play
problem.
golf here in 3 hours.
It
Awesome.
gives you time to recoup.
I'm
Recoup,
gonna
reflect.
smash the heck out of some golf
Rejuvenate.
balls and
Regenerate.
Thank you. Rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate.
Yeah.
And reflect
Regurgitate.
upon what the heck happened last night.
We took the L.
We got beat by a better team.
We have never had to do a podcast like this
Yeah,
That's
usually
true.
our losses end our season.
because we weren't doing podcasts in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which at Coppell, 5th game of the season.
The last time the Eagles lost a regular season game.
And Kyler Murray was there to witness
Third
that
game
one.
of the season.
It was the fifth game.
5th game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There with district.
Right before district.
Jeff Harris goes down with a
With a knee.
ACL.
blown knee.
Yeah.
Refs hose us at the end.
Hoses.
And that was the last loss.
That's right. That's right. I forgot our district was small back.
And
Kyler Murray was in attendance last
I
night.
was in attendance last night.
And-
From a distance.
Incognito.
yeah, over in the end zone.
He didn't want to be bothered. He did get his picture taken with Mike Carter and
A
his wife,
couple,
so that
yeah,
was
a
pretty
couple
cool.
people were there. Yeah.
Like, Mike, your good coaching led to me staying nice and clean, where I could drink my scotch and smoke my cigar.
So this is a little different for us.
Yeah.
We haven't had to talk about too many regular season losses. And we really haven't had to talk too much about, I think what all of us feel is Allen really getting spanked. And I think this was a spanking.
Yeah. Well,
You go back to the Trinity game last year.
yeah. That was a eke.
It was, you can't stop Ollie Gordon, but you were in the game to the very end.
Yeah.
This one, not so much.
Well, second half it was all downhill after the end of that first half.
After
I
the
mean-
end of the first quarter.
Yep. We did pretty good. Got 3 scores, 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and they got a touchdown.
And we were driving. Let's be honest. We were driving down. We had the momentum at the end of the first
Yeah.
first half, and that was the turning point took
Yeah.
place.
Opportunity
And it
to
was
score,
and
and-
it was that fumble
Yeah.
that happened, and it happens. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say is it happens. And the thing that killed us was that Atascocita just takes that ball and drives all the way down and scores with 0 time.
Well,
left
5
in-
seconds
into
when
the
they ran the
half.
play. Yeah, and done.
And that just took all the wind out of the sails.
And you're still only behind by 3, but with the momentum changing,
And they get the ball coming out of
Yeah,
the
and they
locker
get the
room.
We can start there.
that was the
because
beginning.
That was weird.
We talked to somebody before the game that said, you're going to see some things different. Somebody who we think's in the know.
Yeah.
And
That was definitely
that was
different. And
You
the
win
coin
the toss and you don't defer. Which, there's no right or wrong answer. They're the NFL, they never defer. They
Yeah.
always take the ball and go.
Yeah.
But that was strange for Allen.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Not you, but Allen.
Well, I'm an idiot.
So the game begins, and you just look across the field, and you're like, looks like, and
There's
we've seen this before. You look, appearance is not always everything, but you look across the field and you go, it looks like there's some athletes across the field.
Linebackers had
a
some size.
tad.
Offensive line, defensive line
Well,
had some good size.
Newberry's a 5-star recruit, the
Yeah.
right tackle, number 75. Nolan and I actually met his dad before the game.
Yeah.
We actually
That guy can cook.
Yeah, he can't. We went over there, and there were
some
people
sausage.
tailgating, and we were like,
Which was awesome, by the way. I thought that.
so we just stopped by, and they just, here, have a turkey leg. Those turkey legs, they were bigger than fair turkey legs, dude. They were huge. I don't know where they get their turkeys at, but
Big honking South
Everything's
Texas
bigger in
turkeys.
Houston.
it must be. But
players and the
Mr.
turkey
Newberry
Houston.
and number 2, Wright, the wide receiver.
Wide
his dad
receiver.
Met him. And those guys were they were nice.
Yeah.
Gave us food.
They were great. They really were.
They said, we came up here last year and we saw y'all.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
said, if we come back next year, we're doing that. And they did, man.
They
They
did.
had 4 or 5 grills going. I mean,
Yeah,
Good
they
on-
had a couple
good on 'em, man.
smokers going, a couple of grills. It was
So trailered smokers, they had some?
no, they had
okay.
those little portable smokers.
Okay, I
That's
got
cool.
you, like the egg or whatever, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, you look across there and you say, okay, this kind of reminds me of a Duncanville team. You just look and see athletes everywhere. Now,
Yep.
are they really athletes? Because the year before,
Can they perform?
Right.
they kind of look similar.
Dude, that I'm sorry, that was night and day from last year to
Well, sure.
last night. And I mean, you're talking about looking across. As y'all know, my seats are right there, and I was sitting there watching them.
Right where?
Well,
You know,
right where they warm up. the
we
visiting.
we know, but nobody else
Yeah,
knows.
well, my seats are on the north side of the field, on the north side, about 20.
Where the
almost 30
visitors
yard line.
warm
There
up
you
and
go.
stuff,
See?
yeah.
from the visitors.
that helps our listeners.
Yes,
So.
and watching them warm up and seeing some of those kids out there, I was like, I had a buddy with me sitting with me, and I looked at him. I said, "These guys are big." I mean, I was looking at the linebackers, the defensive linemen, their secondary. I was like going, "Holy cow, these guys are big!" And then obviously the question was, can they play? Well, I think they proved that last night.
You know, it was a very, and I told Sherry earlier in the week, I've got trepidation about this game, just, just because everybody says they're better, quarterback's returning, and sure enough, those guys, and you could see it in the first half of the first quarter, Allen gets the ball first.
3 and out.
3 and out. They get the ball, they make 1 first down, then they have to punt.
Yep.
And then, Allen gets the ball back. And it's just, you can see every yard's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Really tough. Now,
Right.
Allen comes out of the box in the first series and goes deep first play.
A little flea flicker action.
Yeah, which was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bubble screen.
That was different.
Hallelujah, thank
That
you,
was
Lord.
different. Yeah. Well, let's identify the miracles and be thankful.
And we thought Tyson had it. James has a picture, which I'll show you guys, of
Massive
on that.
interference, yeah. But
Shocker.
Yeah, but Tyson almost had it. He caught it, and then when he hit the ground, it came out. So that would have been a big game changer. But it just got, very difficult. You could just see nothing was going to be easy. Running game wasn't there. Jalen wasn't having the holes and everything he had last week, and so they get the ball back, and they actually drive down, to the Allen. Well, I don't know, what was it, 5-6 yard line,
Yeah.
and they go 79 yards actually, and they get down there. It was at 6, and a pass gets tipped, and it gets picked
Yep.
in the end zone. Dodge a
momentum
bullet.
changer.
That was so cool.
That was cool.
And we needed it.
That was cool.
Who picked it off? Who got that?
Um,
Was it 20, 21,
21,
27?
I think.
21.
Bargains.
We're so
21,
unprepared.
Bargains.
Oh yeah, because you
Yeah,
said
it was
that's
a
a bargain. I remember you said
Real bargain.
Nick Bargain.
Nick bargain. And so
That's actually very good.
see what you missed. Allen gets the ball back on the 20. It ends up going 80 yards.
Matriculating.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12
What?
plays. It was a long drive.
Yeah, and at
Yeah.
that point, I'm like, okay, we're good.
Get
We're good.
4th down at the 7, and they go for it.
Little short slant pass, boom.
And the
Touchdown.
the DB falls down,
Yeah.
or Tyson just faked him out of his shoes. I don't know which.
Yeah, I think Tyson faked him a little bit.
And Allen's up 7-0. You go, okay,
All right.
you can score on these guys.
Yeah.
It's because they're, you said it, they're linebacker. I love their linebackers.
Oh, I wish.
When the defensive formation they were running, they were playing 3 down linemen. For the
they're playing about
defense.
8 down linemen because number
Well, but
99 made up 4 people.
Well, exactly. They had the crew. It was like having
Didn't we meet his
Chris
dad, too?
and what's his name,
Bonsu.
Bonsu, Nate Bonsu, and it was like having that line.
Dude,
and they kept number 9 as a defensive tackle or outside defensive end, and he would switch sides and take an angle.
They took up a lot of space, period.
Or not.
Their
99
linebackers are
looked
fast.
like a college nose tackle or an
Yeah,
NFL nose tackle. That dude was huge. And bless Nick, bless his heart.
Yeah. He was
Say
tried
that,
his best
say
all
that
night long.
fast 3 times.
he was covered up.
Who was kind of the smallest lineman that we
Yeah.
have up there.
And
Yeah, 99 started here at his shoulders and is like a Christmas tree. I mean, it just got bigger as it went down.
Well, and when you got the talent that they've got, watching the film, their corners and their free safety. The free safety number 10 was a pain in the butt because he was sneaking up and they were smelling out those running plays that we would run and stuff the hole. Just stuff us. And they had to get creative. Our offense did, and they did. We had, 3 drives and 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the first half. So we had some success. But it was a struggle.
Yeah. It was a struggle. It wasn't easy. Allen goes up 7-0. Tuscaloosa gets the ball, gets 1 or 2 first downs, probably 1, goes 7 plays. They have to punt.
Yep.
Allen gets the ball back, goes 10 plays, 83 yards. I like the punt return by Jordan on that, if you remember.
That line drive.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
grabbed it and was gone. Returned 16 yards to the 50.
Yeah.
Get down.
That is a crazy concept, by the way, to actually return a kickoff or
Right,
a punt
and not fair
instead of
catching.
fair catching.
Number 16.
And please
fair
stop.
catching it, running backward. Well, we'll get into
We'll
that.
get into that
Yeah.
because that made me mad on that
If you
wall.
don't have somebody that
Oh,
wants
the
to
short
return
kick, the
it,
short kickoff. Yeah.
have tryouts and
Well,
find
and
somebody
when we're-
that'll-
when we're
that wants to
behind.
return a punt or a kickoff.
To me, that's.
Well, I think last year was a coaching decision. I think the coaches
Yeah.
told them
Yeah.
fair catching.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
It very well could be this year as well, too. But I think
Well, that's on kickoffs, not on punts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they get down to the Tuscaloosa 4, drive stalls, and boy,
Take the points.
the play before the 4th down play,
Oh,
Hawkins goes back to pass, and from our angle, you can just see the whole right side just open up, nothing but green. And he starts running that way, and I was like, oh, is he going to make it? He didn't.
yeah.
And of course, memories of a foregone quarterback come to mind. And they're like, just a little more speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kyler would have taken the corner and boom, it would have been, wow, he's
it's
fast.
kind of like the Vince Young.
And
road
Kyler was
play.
probably
Yeah.
thinking that when he was sitting there watching that play. 'Cause
Oh, I'd have had that.
I would have had
touchdown.
that one.
But he did, and
Good point.
hey, he's not Kyler, and he never will be. But,
No, but he's good.
kicked a field goal, you're up 10-0. You're like, okay, 2 drives in a row.
We're doing okay.
Defense is playing well, hanging in there.
Got a couple stops.
And I'm not sure exactly when it happened, and it might have been the next drive. I don't know. James, you might be able to tell because you went back and watched the film
Yep.
of when Diego got hurt.
Yeah, it was a couple plays into that next drive, and he ended up slamming the runner. He tackled the runner, slammed him, and hurt
Twisted his
himself.
knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But
he went out, and so you're down a linebacker. They get the ball, and the first of 4 touchdown passes
yeah,
down the left side to Chase Soul.
but they ran a great play. Pass, pump fake on the pass.
Well, that wasn't the first one.
Oh no,
The first one was just because the pump fake was on the or was it?
no. Pump fake was the first one.
Was it?
Second one was just pure competition.
Yeah, the corner bit.
sign was right there.
He bit on the pump fake really bad on that first
Yeah,
one. Though.
yeah.
Touchdown pass from number 7, Gavin Session, to number 1, Chase Sola.
And then he learned, and he didn't. But then
It just razor's edge.
So
Yeah.
look, we got to break this play all the way down.
here we go.
We're getting
All right.
technical.
Well,
Go
you
for
know,
it.
So like last year, we pump faked them twice for touchdown. Greens on both sides did the
Yep.
exact same thing. All right. That's such a long developing play that, okay, the corner, every once in a while they're going to bite on a pump fake.
Yep.
And so you can't really totally, you look up and the guy's 10 yards down the field. If you just happen to be watching and then you look where the ball goes, you go, how'd he get so wide open? So at that point, the pass rush has got to be making the difference. You can't allow that long of a play and then blame it on the corner for getting burned
Biting
like
on the
that.
fake, yeah.
Because, I mean, it would have been if you go back and look, was it like a 12-yard out route, and then he goes
12 to 15 out, and he turned halfway and then immediately broke.
Yeah, so
broke for a go
at
route.
that point, that's not really on the corner as much as it is not getting to the quarterback.
Well, and like you said, their offensive line, he had all the time in the world back there, sitting in the pocket. And then when, which gave him the opportunity to when his receivers were covered, he had an open lane just right scrambling on the outside, and he's going down 15, 16 yards, and I'll say it. I know it's kind of a touchy subject, but the tackling was not good last night. There
Snatching and grabbing.
Yeah, it was just slapping and grabbing, and a team like that, you gotta wrap up and bring them down.
Well, I gotta say, I thought it was a slight bit better than the Plano East game, but this was a much better team than Plano East was too. So
yeah.
It's all about being in position to make the tackle. That's the thing I noticed about Atascocita was that their linebackers, etc. They stayed home. They stayed where they're supposed to be, and that's what strung Jordan out on so many of those plays. Is that their guys were where they were supposed to be,
and they took the correct angles too. I saw where we.
I just know there was a lot of. They ran the same play over and over again, right at the gut.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there until 7 yards downfield. And you're like, okay, whose responsibility is it? Why aren't you there? What's happening? That never got corrected.
is it that our defensive guys can't get off the blocks, or what?
Well, when we were in the three-man scheme, they would just fold. What we always called a fold block was when the guard and the center double team, not high-low, but double team, and turn the nose guard out. Well, then it's got to be the linebacker fill that gap, or one of the safeties has got to come up. You got five guys in the secondary, whatever. Somebody's got to come up a lot earlier, because once they get through the hole, then it's a one-on-one situation. If you get them in the hole,
and they were winning those situations last night.
And so,
and with that formation
to the play, just a half a second quicker might make a difference.
So that formation though, Thad, it's like a 3-2-5. Well, well, I mean that's what it looks like from a structural standpoint.
When it went to the three, I can't. It's hard to tell what they call Momo, number 22. Is he a linebacker, or is he they got him listed as a DB, but he's up, and he made a lot of tackles last night. Casey Smith, when 20s and 11s and stuff like that will make a lot of tackles.
It's not good.
It's not good, but
no.
Well, and it depends on where they're making the tackles too, because that number 10 for Atascocita was making the tackles as a free safety, but he was making them at the line of scrimmage.
But we weren't.
Well, yeah. So what I was going to say is that formation that we were running looks like it is supposed to prevent some of the passing attacks and some of the passing success, intermediate to long. Now, I heard Nolan saying, how'd they get behind us? It wasn't working.
Yeah.
And the linebackers, I think it requires a really athletic play, aggressive play on the linebackers to read the angles, to fill the right slots at the right time. And they were working hard at it, but it goes back to Atascocita being a really good team.
They were.
Great blocking.
So
What do you call it, fold block?
well, just double team and
And turn them out.
seal the nose guard or whatever. Now
They did get called for a chop block.
Yeah.
They score, so it's 10-7. Allen gets the ball back, and probably the best play of the night was the Mad Russians touchdown reception.
Yep.
And
Gorski.
what a great play! For those of you who didn't see it or didn't see how it unfolded, we've got the video, which I'll put in here.
There it is, right there. Right there,
3,
Just describe it. So
he lines up in the backfield and he comes out to the right, acting like he's going to block. And
For the bubble screen.
Yeah. And everybody, because he runs right at the DB. It's over.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of ignores him, and then he just
breaks downfield.
And Hawkins hit him on a beautiful in stride.
Oh, and Hawkins was looking for him the whole time, and it was there.
Very creative play. I like that.
Yeah.
And when the Mad Russian scores, it's all good. Everybody takes a shot of vodka.
Da.
And we thought we were in good shape. 17 points. Yeah. 17-7.
Some offensive schemes, that play is called Fox because it's kind of a sly little play that where you
just made that up.
Nope. That's the Hebron play.
And
That's
I
how they
wouldn't even
beat us. That's how they beat us at the double wide.
Yeah.
That play was
Back in 2010.
except that guy went all the way out to the sideline where our guy ran up the seam, but it's still where it's a sly play, so they call it
Speaking of
Fox.
sidelines, y'all remember that one play where that the wide receiver for Tascasita was just wide open right there on their own sideline, and our DBs were about 20, 30 yards back.
There was a few times,
and it was like going,
uncovered.
What did that kid just come out of the huddle? I mean, come out off the sideline and
The old hideout play.
I mean, he literally was on the sideline. Looked like he blended in with the rest of the team on the sideline or something.
So it's 17 to.
He's all
Voice is
choked
finally
up.
changing.
My voice is gone, guys. I'm just
Puberty.
I'm trying to get through this. 17-7, kickoff, touchback. Tascasita drives down, and again, same exact play.
Yeah.
Throw to Chase Soul, 35 yards this time. It's 26 the first time, right over the DB. So there's a minute 16 left. They actually shank. They pull an FSU on the extra point. So you've got me calling that now.
Yeah.
So 17-13. Now I guess
Free Shoe University. I mean, Florida State
Hey.
University.
Bobby actually thought that was pretty funny. Thought that was funny. And so this is when you come up with the fair catch on the kickoff.
Yeah.
And this got to driving me crazy all night long. And it's not so much the fair catch, but it's a dude who's not even catching the ball, making the
kills
fair
the
catch,
play.
and he kills the play.
He's running back
Backwards.
to catch it.
Yeah. And you're like, let your playmakers, they're right behind you.
Yeah.
Every time that happened.
You got to trust. There's a trust issue there.
And
I think it's a.
Discipline?
I think it's coaching that. Hey, if the ball's coming up in the air, blah blah blah, and then he fair catches it, and then it doesn't matter if you're having to run back now or not. It's too late.
Yeah.
Play's over.
that happened at least 3 times last
Yeah.
night. And I'm like, dude,
It did.
Jordan's behind you.
Coming up with
And there were a couple of them that
full head of
really
steam.
didn't have the hang time anyway, and they were
No. But
so.
that needs to be. I hope that's part of a coaching moment today.
Learning opportunities.
Yeah. So we get the ball on the 26. Hawkins rushes for 11. An incomplete pass. He completes the pass to Jordan for 10. We're now at almost midfield. He completes the pass to Jordan to the Tascasita 41. And then what Nolan had mentioned earlier, we all feel, as we talked at breakfast this morning, the turning point of the game. Hawkins goes back to pass, takes off scrambling, goes to switch hands with the ball.
I think it was a run play the whole time because they sent Jalen Jenkins up the middle. It was wide open up the middle, and he almost immediately breaks behind Jenkins. But as soon as he breaks,
We're playing
Patsy with the ball. It's
knocks
up in the
ball,
air.
gets away, he knocks it in the air, and he's about to grab it, the Tascasita defender gets his hand up in there. It's like a basketball.
May have been
rebound.
that number 9.
Yeah, and then knocks it, and then it goes scrambling. And he
Their guy
had
fell on it.
20 yards of green field in front of him.
Oh,
if he
it
just
was-
had the
it
ball.
Would have been at least a
was it.
first down.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh. It's just, 50 seconds left, and now you're like, really? Because the way Caden Williams was kicking the ball last night, you at least had a field goal of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
That kid,
he's got
With the
He's
wind.
got a leg.
yeah, he had
You're
the
going
wind
with the
behind
wind.
him.
he's got a leg. Either
He kicked one to McKinney and one to Anna last night.
And then you think, okay, here's another test. We can't score on that. we got to stop them.
There you go. You've got to stop them. When you're up 17-13, you've had a chance to score. Just hold them.
Nope.
No.
They go 50 yards in 7 plays. The last 29, another same exact play.
Yeah. 5, 6 seconds to go. They run that pass play on the left side.
Yep.
Catches the ball as
Touchdown.
the clock strikes 0.
Gavin Sessions pass completes number 1, Chase Sowell.
The Atascocita takes the lead at halftime. And you're like, oh, what could have been?
But it's still only 17-20 or 20-17. Sorry, I pulled an announcer.
We
Did
saw
we
him
give
at
some
halftime.
correct? Oh, did you talk to him?
He was walking. I said, dude, he goes, I did what you said. I said, except for the last score of the half. He goes, what? I said, yeah, you did it backwards. And then I said, I was in the bathroom before the game. Did anybody else hear him mess up Atascocita? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He couldn't get, it took him like 3 times to get it out. And I was just in the bathroom rolling. I'm like, oh, dude, he's going to hear that. He goes, yeah, I know you guys are listening all the time.
Oh, we do. We pay
He
attention.
caught you, Ian. Atascocita, he tripped over it. And they get the ball back to start second half.
Yeah.
And they go 12 plays, 75
So they maintain that momentum, yeah.
Yep. And it's another touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Different DB on this one. It was actually a crossing route. It
Yeah.
came across the middle. But again, he had all the time in the world.
Yep.
Good.
I caught myself. We want to apologize right now that I'm thinking about it, to all our listeners, for all the pounding on the table we had last week. We don't realize how that microphone picks it up.
We need some boom
What are you talking
mics. We need boom mics. Yes.
Yeah, boom mics. Yeah, so we're trying very hard today not to pound on the table.
If anybody wants to sponsor some boom mics for us,
Yes.
this boom mic is brought to you by
We'll throw that in every week.
Advanced plaster and
And
tile.
Hey, we want to thank our sponsors because it's not necessarily cheap.
It is
We don't
not
have
cheap,
sponsors.
but it is so stinking annoying in my world.
Okay, who watched the South Lake game? They sponsored everything. Everything was sponsored.
Well, of course. it's
This
out.
first down pass is
South
sponsored
Lake.
by.
I actually messaged Chris
Prosper
Cumnock.
last
I
year.
said, seriously? I
Yeah,
said, you
at
got
the
a
stadium.
sponsor for the Red
Children's
Zone?
Health.
Red Zone? He goes, yeah. And he goes, next week I'll have sponsors for the first and second down plays. And he goes, y'all guys need to pony up. We can do the BEBC first down.
Hey, Chris Comnock is great.
He is. He was funny last
He
night.
brings it.
I said, no.
I thought shouldn't we sponsor bubble screens that much?
That would be, we'd hear our name a whole lot less, hopefully. Bubble screen. Oh.
I think we should donate like $1,000 every time they throw a bubble screen.
I think you should shut up.
I second that motion.
Did they
All those in
throw any
favor?
last night?
Aye.
What happened?
Did they throw
I don't
any last
remember.
night?
No.
Nope.
I kind of like it. Kudos to
Yeah.
Tristan Weber for putting that at the very back of the playbook. So,
How did Bubble Screen Boy work last?
we'll get into that. So they go up 27-17. We get the ball back, run 6 plays, go -4 yards. Have to punt, which is no fun.
Nope.
Yeah, the first play of the second half was, don't know what that was. Jalen comes across.
Oh yeah, and it hits him in the hip or something.
I don't know if he was
Don't know if
supposed to time it and catch it on the.
Direct snap, or
Snap.
if he just was late on his crossing.
Or yeah.
Sometimes you get too cute.
Yeah.
Tascocita gets the ball, drives down to the 11.
Excuse me.
And the defense steps up and holds them.
Hey, can we go back to the first half right quick?
We
It
can.
was cool to see the Wildcat with Mr. Hicks.
Twice in a row.
Back to back.
And he handled, because they faked the jet sweep type thing so
Yep.
he could run it. That was good. That was good.
If
All right,
he
back
was
to the
trying to,
regular schedule.
try on that second play. He was trying to truck that guy that was coming up.
Dude,
and if
he did
just,
truck him.
if he,
Well, number 9 dove at his
he
ankle.
dove.
Yeah, he dove.
If he had just like lollipopped over him, it would have been
He
a
was
touchdown. But
he
was
drove
ready
at
to
his
hurt
ankles,
somebody.
and Hicks was looking to hurt somebody, and he kept going and he kept driving, and I'm going, he might drag him all the way into the end zone.
Well, that was fun.
Okay.
Something different. So the defense holds. Allen gets the ball back, gets 37 yards, has to punt. They punt down to the 8-yard line. And so Atascocita just proceeds to go 92 yards.
That's all.
That's it.
You know,
No big deal.
running play for a touchdown. Finally wasn't a pass for a touchdown.
Old Mo is rolling against
It's
us.
34-20 to the end of the third quarter. You're like, ooh, what have we got?
And
Do you
then
have
that's
anything
the,
left?
That's the time you start looking at that clock going.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
might be.
Allen gets the ball, goes 10 plays, 92 yards. They get down in the red zone.
Can't
The
punch it in.
BEBC red zone.
Oh, it's the plaster and tile red zone.
Advanced.
Advanced plaster and tile, red zone.
Caden kicks the 39-yard field goal. It's 34-20. Atascocita proceeds to come back. Goes 15 plays, 75 yards.
I mean, we couldn't stop it.
The quarterback runs for a touchdown and then proceeds to give it all to the student section.
Yeah.
He had
And
been
we're
doing.
giving
He
it
had
to
been
them.
doing that a
Can't
couple
say
times.
that they didn't deserve it, but
No, they had their moments last
yeah.
night.
Well, and
Yes, they
and
did.
the majority of them stayed until the very end of the game too. So
which
thank
was
you for
good.
that, students. Y'all did what you're
So,
supposed to.
41-20 is the
fans.
final.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll talk about that.
The number that sticks out to me when I saw these things last night when I looked at the box score. Total yards for Humboldt Atascocita.
1,200 yards.
Felt like it. 618 total yards. You're not going to win many games when you give up 618 total yards.
No.
And that was quite evident last night. So
Yeah.
it's hard to win.
Well, and Atascocita was is ranked number 5th in the state, and they certainly
Number
deserve that.
5th in the state.
Yeah,
Number
they're
5th.
Number 5th.
Number 5th. Come on, man,
Number 5.
go with it.
No.
You know we can't do that.
You know, and to going back to saying
We
it's hard
speak
to
more
win, it's
better
hard to
than
win
that.
games. I mean, let's be. I mean, think about
No,
it.
we don't
guys.
have to be honest. If we,
No,
we're
we're
about
not.
to say that.
The history.
This is
the
where we
history
lie.
More
is-
gooder.
The more gooder is.
It's more
I didn't say
gooder.
good. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, fifth.
Arkansas.
You're lucky.
The snarky level is
Yeah, we're a
Getting
little testy
high.
this morning.
a little testy.
You know, that broke a streak of 84 straight wins, regular season wins for Allen. Allen has it's the longest record streak in the history of Texas high school football, any division. I mean, you knew it was going to happen. It was bound to happen. You just can't keep a streak like that going on. And you just don't like how it happened. I mean,
Well, and I think, but I look at it this way, and you go back and you look at all those games. To me, this was one of the few times that this was actually a team that was better than you.
Yeah. Dominant second
Exactly.
half. Absolutely
You-
dominant.
I mean, there were some times when Geyer would come in and you'd be like, you know, that's and you turn, you blow them out.
Yeah.
You know, the Plano game to me was a farce. The 35-34 game. You know,
Yeah.
they
the
just didn't
the
play
knockdown
well.
of the 2-point conversion
Yeah.
by Melanson.
that was in a double. No,
But
that was
this was a
that was
very
at the new
good
one.
team that came into your house,
Yeah,
and they showed how good they were.
the 5th ranked team in the state,
Yeah,
and they deserved it.
And they deserved it. I mean, we'll see. Now they play Geyer in 2 weeks on the 17th, so I'll be
back
very,
up here and
very interested to see what
Yeah.
that ends up being.
That takes some cojones too.
But hey, play the best to be the best.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do. I have honestly not looked up the rest of the district, other than Braswell played Thursday night and lost to Keller.
See if I can get my Dave
Little
Campbell's
Indian
Football
action.
Friday app running.
Is it working now?
So I don't know.
Okay. McKinney Boyd beat Grand Prairie 28-21.
Yay! Way to
Okay.
go, McKinney.
Flower Mound Marcus beat McKinney High 28-21.
Hey, 21. Listen to all these games.
Man, we had a great week last week.
Geyer beat Denton Ryan 14-7.
Did they really?
That was huge.
Kiss your sister.
Little
14-7.
Elm spanked North Forney 63-20.
That's 6A, 5A.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Prosper beat Lake Ridge. I think that's another 6A, 5A, 63-7.
Well, Guy Ryan, 6'8", 5'8".
Yeah, but Ryan's the number 1 team in 5A.
You know,
That's a little bit
that
different.
Prosper Carroll game next week is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
I think they're going to give Carroll a big run for their money. I hope
after
they do.
watching Carroll against Rockwall Heath,
There was a tad bit of luck in that
they were
second
lucky
half
to
for
get
them
out
to
of
come
that
back.
one with a win.
Well, that whole game swung on that unsportsmanlike penalty
Yeah.
because that would have, and then Carroll ends up scoring on that drive. It would have been 3rd and like 25 or something crazy instead of 1st and 10.
Speaking of unsportsmanlike penalty, that has to be one of the biggest bonehead moves I've ever seen in my life.
The quarterback. The
Quarterback.
For those
Talking
of
to
you
the
that didn't
refs.
see it, it was on the 4th down play.
Yep.
Gavin Session.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Sessions, I'm sorry. And he tried really hard. He extended his arm out, but his butt was down. So they marked it, right? But he did extend it, and he was
Yeah.
not happy about the spot. But Allen had come off the field. The offense was coming on, and he just starts going after the ref, and just barking at him. Ref finally had enough.
Threw a flag.
Threw a flag on him. Said, "Shut up." And I told these guys, I said, if that had been my team and my quarterback, he wouldn't play in the next series.
Yeah.
Bully.
And he put him right back in, but I'd be like, dude, that's not how you do it. He's a talker, and
Yeah.
his day's coming, and someone will
Shut him up.
Somebody will humble.
humble Mr.
Humble that.
Humble.
Tascasita.
Tascasita. Yeah, and he might be a great kid, but there's just a
I
time.
highly doubt it.
When it's on an opposing team, you hate it. When
Yeah.
they're on your team, hey, it's okay.
You excuse it a little bit. Still don't like it.
No.
Still don't like it. Oh, and let's answer the question on that other play. The one where we had the quarterback in the grasp. He throws the ball. It's short of the line of scrimmage. Side judge throws the flag.
For intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding.
Yep.
And the ref
The umpire.
waves it off.
A ref.
Yes.
And we're thinking, what happened? Well, they called him in the grasp. They marked it back 3 or 4 yards to the 46 instead of the 50, and that was it. So, just so you know,
Just so it's clear.
Crystal.
That's when I yelled for that ref to go back to Fantasy Island.
Y'all are so mean.
Yeah.
He's actually
Well,
a
and-
very good referee.
And when things started going south in the second half, I got to say, some of these fans need to just close their trap. Talking about
Well,
kids need to be pulled and all this
I
other
think,
stuff.
first of all, they need to stay. David sits
Yeah.
up in
Oh.
204.
204.
So you see a lot
So
of
he
what's
sees
going on.
everything.
It was ex-mat. I mean, it's just like the DeSoto game.
Yeah.
You know, then people just started leaving left and right. No support. Just like.
Which is why I'm so happy that the student section stayed.
Yep.
Don't leave. Don't abandon your team.
What are you giggling about
I'll
over
tell
there?
you just a second, but you're right. It was amazing to watch the number of people leave. And I made that mistake a long time ago when Alan played South Lake Carroll at AT&T.
You left?
Yeah, I missed that whole.
The whole in 2009.
Yeah,
That whole.
and I was like, never again.
Who was that? That was Pastor.
Yeah,
Cody
Alex
Gamble.
Pastor.
It was
Oh,
Cody
Gamble.
Gamble.
Yeah,
Cody Gamble
Cody,
caught
yeah.
it. Okay.
But you
They
never
both
know.
the same
Yeah, there
size.
was a lot of people that left.
Well,
But
back
at
then they were.
Not
halftime,
Cody Gamble, Chase Gamble, excuse me.
There you go. Back then.
at halftime, when the band got done playing, half of them went to the seats. The other half went to the tunnel.
Out the tunnel, the
I
northwest
said,
tunnel.
where are they going? Alan goes, they're going to meet their parents in the parking lot. It's like, oh, they're leaving with their parents. I was like, that was great.
Yeah, they all sent notices into the
Yeah, we're going home with
band
our parents
director
at
that, yeah, we
halftime.
want Bobby and Susie to come home with us at halftime.
So they don't have to come back up there at 10:30 and pick them up. That was very funny. So, anyhow, so next week, Cedar Hill, who beat Arlington last night 36-26. So they
They redeemed themselves a little
bounced
bit.
back from a loss to start the season and have won. So now you got 2 1-1 teams. And I think this is where the rubber meets the road for this team, like Shante White said last night when she came out. She goes, the
Right.
question is now, how do you respond to this? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
It's something none of those kids have experienced.
Nope.
They had a playoff loss, but not a regular season loss.
But it was,
And here's the other thing: how does the coaching staff respond?
Yeah.
And again, they can only coach; they're not out there on the field.
that's right. They can't
But there seemed to
execute.
be some issues last night.
Alignment.
How many? They called 2 timeouts because they.
2 timeouts on punts because we didn't have enough guys out there, and then had to call a timeout once because there was a receiver uncovered and things of that nature.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things to clean up.
Yeah, and you hope they
There were
clean it up with a
receivers
lot of
uncovered
character.
all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do wonder, what
Yeah.
what do they do? And this is still non-district play, but you need to correct some things.
Mhm.
And they
we'll
had
see.
the injury bug bit them pretty good last night, especially
Yeah.
on the defensive side of the ball.
Opportunity to step up, and that's what you got to do. And what? It is.
It is. Well, we've been very lucky with people stepping up into positions where they needed to
So
do well, and they did.
it's a character test, this week against Cedar Hill. So
And it looks to be Cedar Hill and Allen look to be a relatively evenly matched after what we've seen so far.
I would agree with that.
And after you get slugged in the face and you sit there and wonder what you do, you go back to basics, fundamental football, because we haven't seen that the past week, especially
Tackling.
defensively, tackling,
Yeah.
just fundamental football. And I hope that these kids,
Alignment and position.
Yep.
Yep.
that they buy into what these coaches are going to be teaching them instead of doing what
Right.
they want to do. So
Or
many
what-
times
or
you
what Daddy
see,
says they want to do.
Yeah.
and I love the way that they do this read option thing where they will send the line to the right,
Yeah.
but the running back is looking, and if the defense goes with him, he goes to the left.
Yeah.
And you got to, I hope the kids buy into what the coaches teach them, because right now they're feeling shell-shocked, I'm sure, sitting at home.
And we haven't mentioned it again. We all know here, it's a new system for these kids. I mean, there is, it is definitely way different than the system that they used to play in last year and the years prior to that. So, I get it, but that's probably of the reason for a lot of those mental mistakes that took place last night. But it's like y'all said, these kids need to. How do you respond to what happened last night?
Well, and I'll go back to how did the coaches respond? Because
Right.
like the second half when the Atascocita got ahead, and our running game was all but non-existent, and they knew they were going to pass. What did the Atascocita start doing?
Bringing the house.
They brought the house.
They brought the house.
And
And putting major pressure on
and,
them.
it,
6 and 7 at a time.
and it
Oh yeah.
With a
people-
sophomore quarterback
people are
who's
looking at
good,
that.
but yeah.
you think Cedar Hill coaches that were there last night didn't see that and go, hey,
Yeah.
under pressure it doesn't work so well for those guys. Now Hawkins can scramble. He
Yep.
hangs on to the ball.
Yeah.
Even better.
What do you have, 3 last night?
Fumbles.
Yeah.
At least 2. I know one in the backfield was a missed handoff type thing, but
And one that they recovered pretty quick.
again, Someone said that
he's a
he-
sophomore.
yeah, again, I think he played pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, he's
that
got to
was a-
remember on third down, you don't just throw it away, though.
Yeah.
You got to try to make a play there.
Exactly.
Force something then.
But the coaching staff needs
He'll
to
get better,
respond to
yeah.
what happened last night
Yeah.
too.
Well, and in the bigger scheme, you hope that what happens is the same thing that happened in 2008. We lost the Trinity in pre-district, go on to win state. So it's possible. You just got to go back to the basics.
Yeah. Well, and I will give kudos to the offensive line because outside, I thought they played pretty well given what they were faced with.
Right.
Because again, that was a good team.
There were times when Hawkins had all the time in the world.
He did, and
First quarter,
yeah,
then things changed.
something happened, and it just
I don't think
Lost
they're going to.
confidence.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to face a defense quite that good in district.
Who knows? We
let's
don't
hope
know.
not.
Well, yeah, we hope
Yeah.
not.
We have no
You
idea.
never know, Little Elm.
Little Elm,
Yeah, Braswell.
but that I've always said this with my kids, is I'm never afraid to let them or see them fail, because I think it's
As long as they
It's-
take
it's a
the
life
right lesson
lesson.
from it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because you're not always going to win everything in life, and we all knew. And like when we had lunch with Morris said he didn't care about the streaks, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
And not I'm saying that he blew this game just to get rid of the streak or whatever, but it's
It's not what you coach for.
yeah. It was there. He inherited it. It's not like he did it.
Yeah.
And so back to the drawing board this morning. I'm sure there's a lot of
watching film.
And for
there
all
was
you,
a
and,
lot of talking going on last night. I
and
know
for
that.
all you Arkansas fans that are dunking on Morris, just shut up.
He's no longer
I
there.
mean, yeah.
Oh, I know.
I mean, he's obviously
doesn't live in
living
that
rent
house
free in
anymore.
everyone's head.
He must be.
I mean, it's done. That was a different time.
Haters
Yep.
are going to hate.
Yep.
It's
And I'm one. Obviously,
Shake it
everyone
off.
knows I'm one of the biggest ones. It's like I don't care. I'm glad he's here.
You're one of the biggest ones, all right.
He's a big fan.
He is. And so we got him on suicide watch today because if Arkansas loses to Rice,
I will be. I was like, oh my God.
we're going to be around Nolan's house. If you see a bunch of cars rushing to Nolan's house tonight, that's why. Just to keep him from making
Fighting
things happen.
Owls.
Yeah, exactly. Big game down in Austin last night. Austin, Westlake, and
Oh, yeah.
Trinity.
Yeah. Put the spanker on them.
Trinity got spanked. Todd Dodge just,
Was it 27-0 at halftime? I read.
yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
So they figured out. Now
This
Gordon
is-
had 200 yards.
This is Todd's last year, right?
Yeah, Todd's
Yeah.
retiring.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Todd goes out on top.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
good
he
for
got a
him.
good look at the JV teams and said, you know what, this will be my last year. I want that on top.
Exit strategy.
The pipeline wasn't what it needed to be, huh?
Who knows?
That's funny.
Maybe
Yeah,
he's
that was good. The South Lake, won on a blocked field goal. Those Dragons, man, I tell you what.
Was there any foxes running across the field? I didn't see
Didn't
them.
see.
Hey, when you're living life, man.
Yeah,
Riley seems to be doing pretty well over there for himself.
not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what else? What are we missing?
Just clean it up.
Clean it up.
Clean it up.
And it starts today. It's already started.
Yeah. Film. Break it down. Clean it up.
Yeah. You stayed up all night breaking it down, sir.
Well, just looking at different things because I was curious what their defense was doing, and their defensive scheme is amazing. If you get a chance to rewatch that game, and I'll render it for you guys, and so you can watch the game or whatever. But their defense played amazing.
Here's a thing of beauty,
It was.
you know.
It was. You want to see
Good
a
defense is fun to watch.
well executed scheme. That's it.
So anyhow, the world's not ending.
No.
They play again next week.
No.
So be there.
Yeah, and maybe Corbett will buy that, firechadmorris.com and give it to us.
You think so?
Yeah, so we can shelve it. Don't even
It's
go there.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Stick with education. Stick with what you know.
There you go. It's simple. All right, fellas. Till next week. You're not going to be here next week.
Nope.
You're going to go watch your Razorbacks lose to the Horns.
Hope not.
That was bad.
Yeah, I'll
Go
be in Fayetteville.
Clemson.
Go Clemson.
God, I hope the
Oh,
Georgia
'cause
folks
Georgia-
crawl under a rock.
Man, there's so much anger in this
It's
room
coming
today.
out. Get it out of your
Testosterone.
system.
Well, we're all jacked up because it is college football season.
We're all jacked up on Diet Coke.
I gotta go mow the yard.
That's what he calls it now.
It's molded.
Hey, John, if you're out there, we love you, brother.
Yeah, John, hang in there, bro. Thanks for reaching out last night, Mr. Bell. We appreciate it. And I hope the answer was satisfactory to you because it was the truth.
What are y'all talking about?
We
I'll tell you
just
this
tell the
minute.
truth.
Thank you.
So,
All
Hey,
right.
no inside things.
Tell
on
the truth.
podcast.
Clean your room.
that's right.
Make your bed.
Go
Obey
back
your
to bed.
parents.
You go back to bed.
Later,
He's an adult. He
I'll be
can do
napping.
this.
after I mow the lawn.
Well, guys, we appreciate you. Glad. Thanks for listening. And until next time, it's over, and we are out.